Long the source of rumor, myth, and legend, the mysterious area known locally to generations of children as Bicycle Park in the small rural burg of Godibo, Oklahoma, seems, at first glance, innocuous enough. The park, donated decades ago to the local municipality by mysterious and reclusive landowner Hiram Corncobbler, is known officially as Corncobbler Park and, at first, seems inviting enough with its many tall old trees and its rolling green hills, ideal for bike riding, hence the unofficial moniker. And if you know nothing of the park's history, you might indeed spend a pleasant afternoon here with family or friends, playing basketball, clambering on the jungle gym, or simply strolling on the green lawn. But if you look and listen a little more closely, you might find your idyllic day spoiled by the dark history of this place. The history of Hiram Corncobbler is shrouded in local legend and mystery. A committed bachelor, it was rumored in the 1920s and 30s that he carried on bacchanalial ecstasies away from prying eyes, often in the company of close friend and advisor Aleister Crowley.
Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? Mr. Snifflebottoms. Mr. Snifflebottoms is a good kitty. Don't argue with Daddy, Mr. Snifflebottoms. Don't argue with Daddy. Daddy has to find his copy of the Necronomicon that Aleister Crowley lent him. Do you know where it is? Did you hide it from Daddy, Mr. Snifflebottoms? I need to find the Necronomicon, or I must do incantations. Where are you, Mr. Snifflebottoms? I can't see you. Mr. Snifflebottoms? Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? Nepenthe! 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 What was that, Mr. Snifflebottoms? Oh, no. Daddy was just calling on an unclean spirit. Oh, yes. 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 Now, where did I put that copy of the Necronomicon? There it is. Necronomicon. Yes. Yes. The Necronomicon.
It was said that he would often come to his eponymous park to perform late-night pagan rituals, glimpsed dimly by inbred locals, gazing superstitiously through the trees and gawking at half-imagined sights of strange, contorted figures gambling around ribald fires deep in the woods, tales of which they would regale the local constabulary for the price of a mug of 3.2 ale. As he grew ever older and more decrepit, sequestered in his Corncobbler manor, slowly falling into disrepair and overlooking the burg of Godibo from its lofty and lonely perch on Corncobbler Hill, his behavior became ever more erratic and confounding.
Oh, Mr. Snifflebottoms, let Daddy have a drink of his elixir. Oh, the elixir of life. Oh. No, you don't want to know what's in that, Mr. Snifflebottoms. But it came from a pituitary gland. Okay, are you going to go get the Necronomicon for me now, Mr. Snifflebottoms?
It is said that with his last breath, he cursed anyone who would defile his beloved park, although no body was ever found. For years after, it was rumored that the demonic ghost of Corncobbler wandered Bicycle Park in the wee hours, searching for surcease. In later decades, a strange, Yeti-like beast was often reported to be sighted within the dense woods of the park, similar in size and fortitude to the redoubtable Bigfoot of song and legend, differing from the foul-smelling, large-footed beast of the Pacific Northwest in his shock of reportedly ghost-white fur. Known locally as the White Demon of Bicycle Park, this strange creature is still occasionally sighted by local meth addicts. Still later, legend surfaced of a strange creature spotted in the oft-turbulent creek that forms the western borderlands of Bicycle Park. Though calm when we visited, do not be deceived, as when following the common torrential rains known to plague this region, this calm creek can be transformed into an onrushing tumult. Although it is not known just when this strange creature was first reported, legend grew of an accursed man-frog that was said to consume the flesh and souls of the living. This beast came to be known as the creature of Corncobbler Creek, and many claim it still inhabits the murky depths of Corncobbler Creek to this day. On our visit, we did not obtain photographic evidence of this creature, though these unidentified footprints, fresh in the mud, may yield some clue as to the nature of this amphibious brute. Children of the early 70s will remember being warned away from this place by their parents. Vague warnings against hooligans and bad elements that were said to lurk in the dense wooded area that marked the park's western boundary. In truth, the period of the early 70s saw the disappearances of several neighborhood children, last seen going into the park's ominous woods, never to be seen again. All through the remaining years of that decade, the park retained its dark reputation and was a place where youths would go to prove their fearlessness and daring, to prove to themselves and their compatriots that they were not afraid of the so-called Bicycle Park Killer. Even more reckless lads, and I myself was one of them, would sneak out of their bedroom windows and visit the park late at night with a friend to explore the park and its woods in the altogether different setting of darkness. Quietly would we creep through the woods, afraid to even turn on our flashlights for fear of awakening the killer. I can personally testify to hearing strange sounds in the dark, in the woods, sounds both seemingly inhuman and yet almost decipherable as some arcane language. Soon would we retreat from this place after hearing and witnessing such strange sights and unbelievable sounds. In the 1980s, it began to be rumored that Bicycle Park was the late-night setting for satanic rituals fueled by Jolt Cola and the infamous Dungeons & Dragons board game. It was said by some unnamed few that these rituals were intended to bring about the prophesied resurrection of Hiram Corncobbler himself, as well as his beloved familiar and demon cat, Mr. Snifflebottoms, as well as to also look cool to local babes. Whether these incantations were successful, none may say. These days, few speak of the strange and varied history of this place, and fewer still dare venture into its deepest depths. However, if you talk to a few old-timers in the local pub, known colloquially as Cobbler's Roost, after the initial drunken protestations of, "Horace ain't here!" and "Did my wife send you?" if you look closely in their gin-clouded eyes, you may see a tiny glimmer of recognition at the mention of the horrors of Bicycle Park. Go there today as we did, and you may notice nothing amiss, although closer inspection might unveil disturbing details, like this crudely made cross left here at the entrance to the park, whether as invitation or warning, none can say. The rolling green hills and accompanying picnic tables, basketball court, and jungle gym are all meticulously maintained, the grass mowed with an uncanny precision. The rolling hills are still as I remember them, though on our visit no dirt bike riders were in evidence. Indeed, no one at all but we were visiting the park, underscoring its ghostly and forbidding reputation. But pressing a bit further into the dense surrounding woods, and a different story is told. Gone is the eerie precision of the groundskeeping beyond. The woods present an unkempt, disheveled appearance, festooned with weeds and overhanging vines. Many large old trees knocked down by some unknown disturbance, either ripped out by the roots or toppled in the middle to form forbidding bridges through the foliage. Closer inspection reveals even more disturbing details. Mounds of human clothes, clustered in random piles, dot the ground, eerily devoid of their human wares. One is tempted to ask, where are the owners of these clothes now? But one does not, shuddering at the imagined answer. Venturing even deeper in the woods, and my very senses begin to be questioned. Strange sounds creep into my hearing, and peculiar movements dart just beyond the range of my vision. Soon, though it be merely but daylight still, my mind is foisted back to a younger, more primitive state, and I am once again the mischievous young lad of yore, venturing where he dost not dare, on a whim and the goadings of his young peers. I began to hear what I once heard so long ago, a strange whispering, a whispering that taunts as it invites. Words. Are those words? Half formed on the dense wooden air, taunt my ears. Motion, there, at the edge of sight. Is that a white form I briefly behold? Could it be the fabled white demon of Bicycle Park? Or could it be my increasingly ravaged brain whisperingly suggests to my stimulated consciousness the ghostly apparition of Hiram Corncobbler himself, come back to wreak his oft-promised vengeance on those who would defile his beloved park? As the voices and the visions closed in, either visages of the past or the present, I know not, I heard one last demonic entreaty, a quick glimpse of something closing in upon me, and then blackness, only blackness, for some unknown length of time. When I came to myself, the woods were eerily quiet. Gone were the voices and the glimpses of things half seen in the trees. Yet an ominous presence remained. I felt it willing me away, and thus I beat a hasty retreat, vowing never again to return to this place, this bicycle.